money when something inevitably goes wrong, which happens a lot.
Yeah, might as well pay the cheaper push under the rug.
Like I worked offshore a while back when I was younger, but like that, I was only with them for a year and 3 people died just on one of the cruise I was
all
working.
Accidents or just like
like bad ones. There was 3 of them died at the same time. There was a frac pump and there was like this Z plate. Like you got these pistons that there's literally both sides have pistons, and then they're bolted together in the center. So they pull this way and that way, this way and that way. But when they're still working whether they're connected or not.
Right.
And the Z plate keeps both cylinder heads on, and the crew that had put the Z plate on didn't torque it down. So the bolts gave way, and the pump basically shot half the engine right at them as they were staying on the deck next to it and smashed them to pieces.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Just like,
in
an instant too. Oh my God.
And literally they were there monitoring vibrations, trying to figure out what was going on, and like that.
God damn.
So like that was my year in the field. I can't imagine some of the film that they show us from Russia was insane.
Yeah.
Insanely, like the things that are happening in Siberia, like you just see the whole rig just collapse on a crew of guys and bury them alive.
Oh, and they really don't give a shit there.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. 10 miles away.
China doesn't give a fuck.
No.
It's like the Saudis don't give a fuck.
No, it's the same people that are building those in parking lot carnivals over there, just putting together oil rigs.
Yeah. They don't like they're producing so much and they have so much money and they're making so much money. Like losing a rig every now and again is not a big deal to them.
No.
Jesus. Yeah.
Like it's cheaper to just now we do have to build a new one. Now this one that we've been out that's been running with parts that have been around for 80 years that should have been taken out of the field like I don't know 30 years ago at least. Now we actually do have to buy a new one.
Right. You remember those really big washers that we found that we had a couple extra of? Those were needed.
Yeah.
Well, before we get any farther, it's awesome to have you here, man. We've got an awesome, exciting episode on deck. Thank you for coming back to watch another episode of the Dingbat District podcast. This episode, I've been waiting to get going. He was a friend back in the old Twilight Lounge days when that was still going on. He's headlining Rose City March 6th. Y'all make some noise for my good friend JP Hinsdale coming on the episode today.
What's up, man?
We do have a little song.
Dude, I like the podcast.
Thanks, man. It's all this guy. He really knows what he's doing.
It's both of us.
Well, I know how to host. You know how to do all the other things.
I mean, we've been doing it over a year and a half now.
Dude, you're such a supportive couple. It's so nice to see. It's refreshing. It's
I don't know. You should see us fight, though.
Yeah.
It's hot, but it's pretty quick before we get back into sweet, sweet love.
Well, I know there's a lot of secrets kept because somebody was shame eating Subway in your bathroom.
That was me.
Yeah, dude.
In the bathroom?
Yeah.
No.
You shouldn't binge where you purge, bro. It's not. That's a dark road you're going.
There's literally a whole expression about not shitting where you eat.
They have that foot-long Oreo thing now.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what you're
That's what you were eating in the bathroom?
Are you trying to streamline it? I want to see if I can make it just a 112-inch long poo.
It's a whole new direction on farm to table, bro. It's like what the fuck?
Oh.
Whoa. You're better than that, man.
If I eat it in the bathroom, the diabetes doesn't catch me. It goes straight to the toilet.
No, it's because the toilet's right there, so I can purge.
Oh, yeah, a little two-finger tickle. We were all fucking 20-year-old girls. We get it.
I'm trying to lose weight this year.
You need to work on your self-esteem, bro. Yeah, it's like the therapy's good. I can attest. It helps.
Do you have any other tips besides therapy?
Medication.
Besides that, too?
Ozempic.
He tried medication and it made him gay.
Yeah.
Please talk about that. Don't just let that sit out there like that's just a joke.
Yeah.
They put me on some SSRIs, and literally within like 2 months of taking them, I could not stop jerking off to gay porn.
It doesn't sound like a side effect I've ever heard.
It actually is.
There was a medication, I don't remember which one, where a guy was claiming that it made him like gay for like 10 years or some shit.
Yeah, it was a lawsuit, and he got paid for it.
Yeah, he got paid for it.
Yeah.
It was
medication called life.
Yeah, it was like, but do you really feel like you won? Like,
But it was like one of those things where it was like, well, I'm 26. I guess I'm finally gay.
Yeah.
And then I got off the medicine, and it just went away.
You say that like people getting prepared to go bald. Like, oh, I'm 26. It's about that time.
Yeah.
I've been seeing this. It's a long time coming.
It was a good run. But
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And at the end of that tunnel's a cock
I think
because now you're gay.
It takes to be you being 26 to be mentally okay with it. It's like it's not so bad. I can like honestly, it sounds easier than being straight. Then they take your medication away, and you're like, damn it, I gotta try again.
Yeah, I like pussy again. Damn it.
It did sound like a nice, healthy gay relationship because usually a lot of people struggle for a long time. This is just like,
or is this just a PR spread? You know, or is this how you got yourself back in the closet?
I don't know. We'll see.
Blake is queer baiting now that he's out of the closet.
Hey, I'm in the closet now. If you can get me out,
Well, I couldn't come.
Yeah.
Like I would jerk off for like 2 hours, and I couldn't come. It was
this
ridiculous.
doesn't seem definitive. Like, like, you know how when people fuck on Molly and can't come? Like, it's like it doesn't mean that they're not into what they're into, bro. It's like
Sometimes I remember something someone said to me, and it just fucks up the whole night. Like I'm done.
like.
Then you just start pushing rope, and
You're
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you're also a complex human being. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Like it's not.
Yeah, sometimes me and Kylie will be in bed, and then sometimes I'll remember my friend Brett saying no one likes me. I'm like, oh, well, now I'm sad.
We're not trying to bully you into being gay.
I
We're
know.
just letting you know that you're safe here.
We're bullying you into letting you know that you are gay.
Yeah, we're bullying you into self-discovery is what we're bullying you into.
Look, I know my
We
body.
accept you.
I know my body, and I know that period was just it was the medication. It was the medication.
Okay.
What medication was that? I'm gonna start slipping it into his
No,
water.
I'm not gonna state what the medication was.
I'm gonna drug you into being more yourself.
Oh, you're not gay, huh? We'll see about that.
When you're chugging cock.
Yeah. It's like, this Mountain Dew tastes weird, bro. Like, I don't know. You seem weird, bro. I don't know. Like,
I am weird.
Yeah, it's fine.
Why'd you give me a Mountain Dew? And why does it taste a little more chemically?
Yeah.
Nah, that's just Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew's always been chemicals. Drink up.
We'll just watch Birdcage and forget about it.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie,
Yeah.
objectively great.
Birdcage, fantastic.
Yeah.
To the point where like I watched it on a plane, and at first I was like kind of hiding it.
Yeah.
Just so no one was like, oh, he's watching. Oh, like,
Yeah.
good for that guy. But then I was watching it, and at a certain point, I just held it for everyone to see. I'm like, even if they think I'm gay, if it means they think I'm part of this movie, that's okay.
Honestly, coming out of pansexual, that cleared a lot of shit up for me. I remember, like,
Really, you're pan?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I came out on Kill Tony.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that at all.
How many times have you been on Kill Tony?
5.
Okay.
Congratulations, buddy. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, because I looked at your Instagram before you came on. I was, oh yeah, I do know this guy because I do watch Kill Tony.
But yeah, it's been a weird year. I kind of before I moved, I kind of came to this realization. Therapy works. It
Yeah.
does work.
Yeah.
It does work. I went through a lot of shit, and I wasn't dealing with my shit, and some bad shit happened, and it forced me in to kind of fix that, which I'm grateful for. It gave me the push to go out to Austin, and kind of like it was a good time to start over for me. So because how am I? You know me, I'm a fucking head case. Like I process everything on stage. I'll go up. You saw me when I was doing mics and shit.
Oh, dude, I remember and love Cherokee's Last Resort. And that place was such a fucking shit show. But it was just, Blake, you never got to see it. It was this old school saloon right across the street from the gay bar in Arlington. And they hated us constantly. Like, it was just everyone. It's the stereotypical, you're just seeing backs turned. And they're just yelling at the bartender, but it's meant for you. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, get off the stage.
Yeah, it was like it was kind of crazy. It's like I'd go up there and try to do crowd work. After watching everybody else go up, they're not liking anybody, like aggressively not liking it. And it's just like this is a bar that's like it's never been anything but a bar, and it's always gonna be a bar where sad people take consolation in the fact that nothing's ever gonna get better. Like that, this is their spot to be sad together, and they're also like. They got criminal records. I'm like, so I just go up there. It's like, who here is on parole? It's like, what about it? It's just like, I was kidding. This is jokes. Like,
It had the vibe of the Mother's Den from Deadpool,
Yeah.
where all the
Oh,
criminals
shit.
hang out.
yeah, except none of these people were like coordinated enough to be successful at
Yeah.
something like that. Like,
And they do all
like-
these crimes for free.
yeah, like all like they didn't have like homicides. It was more like what's it called when you accidentally kill somebody?
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter. It's like there's a lot of DUI murders, like DUI, not DIY, but it's like
Or DEI.
yeah, it's
Oh, a nice little Dewey.
yeah, it's just or drug possession, shit like that. It was very methy.
But you
Like-
need bars like that.
Oh, dude, 100%. You need bars that are bars. You need
Yeah.
bars that are just bars, not bars that are gastropubs, not bars that are trying to trick you into something else. They don't last. They're fads, bro.
I don't want a $20 fucking hamburger.
Yeah.
I want a mistake.
Like, I don't need a tour of your microbrewery, bro. I just want to get drunk and forget how
Yeah.
sad my life is,
Yeah.
bro. I don't feel like if I have to wear a fedora to get in here, I don't want to be in here.
Right. I don't care to know
Yeah,
how
like-
your brewery got you out of being an
You
accountant.
know, like, I don't care if you have a flat screen TV as long as it's on a football game or something, bro, or NASCAR. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk to you or to anybody here.
Yeah,
Right.
give me your cheapest beer on tap,
Yeah,
and let's
exactly.
just make it a night.
Exactly. I will drink shots. I will keep to myself,
Yeah.
and I won't start a fight until I really feel like I have to.
And I'll give you your 20% at the end of the night. And if
Exactly.
I start a fight, I'll give you
Yeah,
30.
yeah.
I promise I won't look at you. Just please don't look at me. We're in a night
Yeah.
of shame. Let's just have a night.
Look, I know I'm not like your highest clientele. I know I'm not the guy that sells coke in the bathroom, but I'm a good guy and I don't cause trouble. Like,
I keep that guy from getting mad.
yeah, and I'm also nice to your really ugly escorts. Like, the level of hooking in this bar is scary.
You
Someone's
need
got to
that
keep
too.
that bottom line here, and I'm just
Yeah,
nice to him.
yeah, and that line is rock bottom.
They aren't a normal bottom bitch.
Yeah.
They are on the
Yeah,
bottom.
this is the end of the road for fucking for money.
This is closer
Yeah.
to charity than anything.
Yeah, it's like, can I just give you $10 to go away? like,
$5 for a blowjob, $10 to go.
yeah, just stop making eye contact with me. It's floating. It's
Oh man, we had one of these bars where I went to college, and it was Bar C, but everyone called it Bar Chlamydia. It was just a fucking dirty place. Every night they had the birthday song where they played "Birthday Sex" by Genuine, and if you were a girl and it was your birthday, anyone can come on stage and like dance with you, or vice versa. Guys can sit on there and you can get a lap dance. But it really just meant like that was the chance for the football team to come pick you up and air fuck you in front of everyone in the crowd. It was just the dirtiest fucking place in the world.
Is it weird that the whole time you're telling that story, I was tasting Fireball in my mouth?
No, that's what this place smelled like. It smelled like a broken Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh God, so many crimes happened at that place.
yeah, and as they should.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the crimes need to happen.
I may or may not have been sat down by the owner of that club while he proudly told me about the time he kicked a dude in the face with his spurs on.
Wow.
Shit.
I was like, oh, jeez. And he was like a 5'2" Taiwanese guy. He's just like, you're trying
Yeah,
to figure it out. You're
That
like,
must have
oh
been
my
a
God.
fucking hell of a high kick.
Dude, there was a dive ass bar
Oh, he
like
was on the ground.
that I used to go do with my friend in Dallas. That was like that. And it was an Asian dude with spurs, but he looked like a Vietnamese Colonel Sanders. And we called him Colonel Sanders. And like he had the bolo and he like the whole thing. And it was like, but he looked like Mao Zedong in the face. And it was just the weirdest shit. It was like, dude, but he was all in. He was more Texan than anybody ever that I've ever met. Like,
What
Our
was
guy-
the accent like?
oh, it was deep and
Really?
it was broken and like there's missing words, but he like the word, but freedom was the word he knew. Not America, but freedom.
You caught every other couple words,
Yeah.
but then you'd catch barbed wire tattoo. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
God, okay.
I'm pretty sure he called America Erica. Yeah, it was, but he had that place was so terrible, and his prized possession was a knockoff. It was a knockoff Orange County Chopper motorcycle. And he had it displayed prominently, and you're just looking.
It just
at
said
the shit.
orange cunty on the side.
Dude, I'm not sure this thing actually ever ran. Like, I don't think it, I honestly think this is just for show. It had the spider web on it, but it was like, you could say, like, the fucking chrome was rusting, and it was like, he's like, that's my bike! That's my bike! And I was like, okay, bro. Like,
Did it ever actually move?
That's my chopper.
Was it just like a showpiece?
It was literally on a display case in the back. It took up so much of the bar, and it was just like, and it had no reason. It didn't go with the bar, like at all. Like it didn't. It was just there, and he'd just go look at it, and there was like a mirror behind it, so you could see behind it, and it's like, if you look behind it, you could see really how badly it was put together. Like it was funny.
See, our dude, oh God, he reminded me so much of, remember King of the Hill, the neighbor Lee Supanusampone?
Yeah.
He reminded me of Mr. Supanusampone, and he'd just sit up in the top booth of the bar where they were like working the audio, and he'd just be sitting there looking at the soundboard, flipping a butterfly knife. And you're like, dude, Lee is up there thinking some thought. He made it out of Taiwan.
Yeah, well, he's still not on safe soil yet. Like he's ready for the shit to go down. Like
he's made foxholes in this bar. If you go under the pool hall.
Those were the kids of Vietnam.
Exactly.
Like
the kids of the baby boom. But
you don't even know how many spider holes are hidden around that fucking bar, bro.
Yeah,
like grenades, like
they witnessed war crimes,
like stick traps, bro. You don't know, bro.
All the pool cues have a tap on. It's a spear.
It's like he's more ready for Trump in INS than anybody. Like he was like, come take it.
Please, man. Yeah. I made friends with all the farmers.
Like all of a sudden you fall down and shoot and there's just a bunch of cobras and it's like I'm just a civil servant, man. I don't get paid enough for cobras. Like,
why is it always snakes?
Yeah, it's just like
I love every time you do an Asian accent, it's South Park Shitty Walk.
Yeah, pretty close.
Every time.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean that's about the only Asian I get to know. And at that point, I'm just doing an impression of an impression, so it's not that racist.
Yeah, because the guy that does the impression is an Asian.
Yeah, he's white.
In fact, that guy's not even really Asian. Remember that episode?
Yeah.
He was a therapist.
Like it's a funny ass episode, but like you think about it, it's like, how did like the Japanese guy not know he was not Asian? Like he's like, I get the town because they're all stupid as fuck,
right? It's
but
just middle of town.
But the Japanese guy's like, what the fuck is with this Chinese? He's not even Chinese, and he keeps fucking with my life. Like,
well, at the same time though, like I couldn't tell you the difference between someone from Maine and someone from Rhode Island.
Yeah, but you can tell they're from the East Coast for sure.
That's true.
Like there's you can tell they're from East Coast trash states, and that's what's important. They have their own version of crap, but it's like not really that different.
It's hard to mix up a dude from Estonia from an American.
I mean, yeah, that's a little easier than that.
So, man, it's been a while since I've gotten to see you. You left DFW area, moved down to Austin. What have you been up to, man? It's been great to see you.
It's been a crazy year. There was a lot of shit happened really quick.
Right.
It's been there has been an adjustment period to trying to figure out how to navigate some of the things, and some things didn't go as well as I wanted to. Some went better than I ever imagined they would. And you know, the way Austin is now, it's kind of a meat grinder.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's like, because for better, for worse, for like whatever your opinion of the Austin scene, it's the biggest scene in the world right now. Right now, yeah. And like for a while there, especially when I first got there, it seemed like every week there was like a ton of like people that wanted to try comedy decided, you know where I'm gonna, instead of like finding my local scene and figuring it out,
I'm just gonna move to Austin.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on a bus and my dreams will come true.
Time to take out that loan.
And like for me, like it was my whole thing was the opposite. So I'm like, it's probably gonna take me 6 or 8 months to start getting noticed by the clubs and shit and getting some attention and shit, and that it worked out the opposite. But I wasn't planning on it. It's like,
no one expects to go to the Kia Forum.
No, like it was that honestly, playing any kind of arena ever in my life was never even popped in my head.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, a year ago, you were an apartment maintenance guy.
Yeah, and in really going through it mentally.
Yeah,
I was in a really fucking bad place. Like I had a lot of bad shit happen. I was still doing comedy, but I wasn't really in it. Like my heart wasn't in it. Like my head wasn't in it, and I just had a lot of bad things going on. A lot of bad, friendships and other things, and like I don't know. I wasn't dealing with my mental health at all. So it was just kind of like, I mean, I was starting to, but it was just,
Well, from the time you walked in here, you walked in with such an energy I haven't seen since like when I started. You were chipper when you walked in my door, which is amazing to feel. Because I remember, and I'm saying this, and it might sound like a dig, but I love this of you. I remember all those times I got sat down by you at Twilight and just listened to you talk conspiracies.
Yes.
And you were so happy to do. You held court. It was so fun to watch. And then you start, like you were saying, you were dealing with some stuff, and you could tell. But like, I wasn't there to ask, and so I was an asshole. But
like I have severe mental health issues, and
right.
Like comedy saved my life on that end, because I wasn't. Comedy kind of forced me, because like you can't go up on stage and go up there and talk bullshit and make it work. Like, I mean, some people can, but mostly not. And like I went up there and it was like I was surprised that I could talk about some weird shit, and I wasn't as it wasn't that I wasn't as weird as I thought I was.
You weren't outcasted for it.
It was like, yeah, but you all are weird as fuck too. So that was kind of it was kind of like I found my tribe of broken people.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been nice to be like, oh, I'm weird as shit, but like that guy is in a different way so much weirder than I am, and that's comforting.
And also like especially with like the real comics, like the guys that are really fucking good, and the guys you come up with that you're close to, like we don't talk to each other like normal people.
No, it's just like you're fat, you're gay, fuck you, I love you, get the fuck out of here. I hope you die on the way home. Like it's just fucked up shit.
Yeah, I will say the meanest fucking thing I can to you, Paxton. But if it's funny, you love me for it. It hurts because it's true, but it doesn't change the fact that it was funny.
It's always superseded with like 3 months or 3 weeks later, I'm telling him like that fucking asshole. But it goes both ways, and it's like there's something very liberating about that level of honesty. That the problem with it is especially the situation that came like with the Austin shit is like now all of a sudden I'm getting noticed that I have to talk to normal people and not say fucked up shit. Right.
Yeah. Like you kind of lose a little bit your ability to talk to normal people.
Right.
Or I mean normal pretending people anyway. Like everyone wants to be offended or is gonna get offended, or they take everything like a personal assault, or just like, no, I like you, so I'm telling you the truth. If I didn't like you, I would bullshit you and let you keep doing what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that was exactly why I joined into comedy, is because like my whole life I felt like I was always talking to people moving slower than I was. And not like I'm saying I'm smart, but it was just like, Jesus Christ, does everything have to be water cooler talk all the time?
Yeah, like
I don't need to walk up and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and I have to lie. Like I don't care to lie. So sometimes I go, "I'm doing pretty shitty," and let's not talk about it, but I'm doing pretty shitty. So how are you doing?
Yeah, or like it'd be cool to have a real conversation about being shitty. Like there was this guy I worked with, and he was part of the reason he was my cautionary tale. He was the guy I looked at and like, if I stay here in 20 years, I'm gonna be this piece of shit, and I don't want to be this piece of shit.
Yeah,
like he literally had a crooked bowl cut, like but a 70s bowl cut. So it was a deep bowl. It was a salad bowl or a fondue bowl. It was a lot of bowl.
He just looked like a Dutch kid.
Yeah, and he'd smoked some. He looked like the guy. He looked like the guy from No Country for Old Men, the killer. It was like
Sugar.
that. Yeah,
Antoine Sugar.
But like his like retarded uncle, like
which is crazy. That Antoine Sugar in that movie is already not retarded.
No, this is the guy's like it's like
Antoine Sugar fucked Antoine Sugar, and that's his kid.
Yeah, it's like he's not the guy that's gonna flip a coin and tell he's like pig aside. He's like, do you have sandwiches? But like he was.
Is this enough?
But he was like, dude, he was such a pathetic person to my head. He was just like he'd smoked for so long that he had this permanent wheeze, so you knew where he was. If he was within like 30 feet of you, you could hear him. I called him Deep Throat Vader because he was like, I can feel the dark side. Like he'd just be hovering in the background, and he sucked to work with because he'd been doing it so long, he didn't want to do anything but just sit in front of his computer at his toolbox and smoke.
Right.
And I remember like they went into the shop and redid the shop and put in these motion sensor lights like all over the shop, so that if you're not in your bay and not moving around working, they go off.
Right.
And I'm like, my boss was getting on my ass. She's like, you need to do this and get this done so you can get this done. I'm like, and I was already overloaded because it was just, at a certain point, it got to the point where it was just me and this guy. And I'm like, dude, I told my boss, like, his lights haven't turned on in 2 days, and he's sitting right there. Like, he was smoking so stilly, he didn't set off the lights. And I'm like, dude, he's not doing anything. Like, go bother him.
And then you just get some asshole who's like, yeah, but he's saving the company money. You're like, oh my God.
No, it was literally like, when, like, they were like, well, we can't go, like, it was like this. They were like, we literally can't go look for somebody that's qualified because nobody wants to do this kind of shit anymore.
Right.
Like, it was like they just didn't want to go find somebody that they could hold liable if something went bad.
Yeah. The last kind of sort of blue collar job I had, I worked as like a lube tech at an oil change place.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing where like every single day I had to tell them that they had a drainage problem because if it rained, all the water came into the cave down below. And so every single day I walked down there and it was just a swamp of water and oil just waiting for me to fall. I'd bust my ass probably 8 times and I'd walk up soaked in oil and water dripping out through his lobby. And he's like, hey, stop dripping. And I go, yo,
Yeah.
I'm coming in here to show you that I'm going to get fucking pissed. Like, fix this.
Yeah. There's not a lot of proactivity with blue collar jobs. It's just like deal with it or go find another job, which is what happens.
Yeah.
But dude, this guy was like, but he got on my nerves in every way. Like, he would take over the lunch break room. He'd put his fat, annoying ass wife on speakerphone. And like, so for the whole lunch, I had to hear their conversations.
Yeah, that'll
Like,
make you get back to work real quick.
yeah, like I stopped eating because she was the most like exhaustingly boring woman I'd ever heard in my life. Like, I remember one time he turned it on and she was shopping in the grocery store. And she was telling him everything that was on sale, but she kept circling back to the Crunch and Munch. She keep working, like, she's like, I'm going to get the steak. This is like, what about the Crunch and Munch? Like, every 5 minutes. And it was like,
Just grab the fucking Crunch and Munch and go.
But he wouldn't answer. He'd just go, and then she'd go back to shopping, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, bitch, buy the Crunch and Munch! Just buy it! Life is too short! Just buy the goddamn... And then I left, and I never went back in there again.
You start throwing 20s on his desk so he can be paid to get the Crunch and Munch.
Yeah, then I go up there for a pizza party one day, and then the managers leave, and then he does it fucking again, and like out of the middle, she just calls him crying because she's like upset because apparently his dick hasn't worked in 10 years. And like she's talking about it, and then like literally the fucking next day in the shop, he's talking about how he really gave it to his wife the other night. I'm like, dude, I know your dick doesn't work. I'm the only one that knows. I don't want to know, but I know.
You don't think you got a Blue Chew subscription?
No, dude, he doesn't have the lung capacity to fuck, bro. El Blue Chew would kill this motherfucker, and he should die happy, but die.
Die happy, die now.
Like,
Blue
I
Chew
don't
can't
care.
make your wife not annoying.
Yeah, like,
he'll make a dick soft so fast.
or let her fuck somebody. I don't care. Somebody wants to fuck a fat old bitch that loves Crunch and Munch. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, a 35-year-old black guy.
Yeah, and seriously, that's Crunch and Munch. Think about it, it's Crunch and Munch, like America's second leading popcorn caramel nut snack. It's not even like Cracker Jacks. It's like it's a second tier to a thing that the company doesn't even advertise Crunch and Munch anymore. I've probably given Crunch and Munch more thought than the people that invented it because of this bitch. It's like annoying as fuck.
But like, imagine that's your life for 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
if you stay at that job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's asking for people to just confide in his not like being a lunatic. He's
Yeah.
like, you hear this too? You're like, yeah, stop making me.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't
I
marry
don't-
the bitch.
Like, none of us want to hear this shit, and you suck. You're the reason why I have to fix 12 things in 8 hours. You're fixing nothing.
So you saying you're fixing stuff. What do you like? What was this job? What mechanical? You said you're working mechanical.
Heavy industrial construction equipment.
Jesus Christ! So you were building like what were you building? Like forklifts or?
Forklifts, everything from like a 2-stroke weed whacker to like a big ass earth moving bulldozer.
Jesus
I had
Christ.
to fix because most companies rent that shit. They don't.
Right.
And you're probably not getting paid that well either.
I mean, this is the thing.
Not enough for that bitch and her Crunch and Munch.
No, fuck no. Like, not enough. Like, dude, not enough to not want to hang myself. Like, no, it's like they work you for they pay you 25, they work you for 50.
Yeah.
Like it's constantly. The our conversation's always like, you're lucky to have a job. And then when COVID happened, they got deemed essential, so they were making more money.
Oh yeah.
They were making so much money, yet they basically tried to get us to do what we used to do in 12 hours in 8. And they said if we complained about it, that they might just let us go. Meanwhile, we're like literally sitting in these. They'd have these phone conferences with everybody.
Yeah.
And the salesmen are talking about getting custom seats put in their trucks for lumbar support. And I'm like, bitch, fuck you. Like I literally don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep my power on.
Right.
Like, what do you?
Club crackers and sardines? Get the fuck out of here.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Like, I have to do your job anyway. You just answer a phone and you tell the customer the sales. I'm the one that has to show them how to work this shit because you know more about the Starbucks menu than you know about a fucking reach fork.
Right. Well, I was working that same lube tech job I had was also a car wash. It was a joint thing. And
God.
I was in charge of the car wash portion of it during COVID because that was still technically essential. And they laid off half of my crew, including my friends that I got hired.
Yeah.
Some of the better people that actually showed up to all the shifts. And they were still paying me such dog shit that I was still stealing from them on top of it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only way you can just. It's not, dude. People wonder why people steal at jobs. It's just so you can have a small win.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's so much abuse that goes on with the blue collar work because every conversation is fuck you. You're lucky to have a job.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's very abusive and it's like during COVID, man, there were mechanics like. I'd open up an engine bay and the door, there'd be a crazy note scrolled in it. This isn't going to kill me. This isn't going to kill me. This isn't going to kill me. Like seriously, people were losing their fucking shit.
Yeah.
And the salesmen are all at home drinking tequila. My friend got him got me on their group call once because he got promoted. And these guys are like literally drinking top shelf tequila in their fucking man caves. They're sitting by their pools. Oh, we'll get through this, fellas. I was like, fuck you, dude.
Fuck off.
Yeah, like no, like we're not. Like it was like I'd always knew like that. They don't value their workers. They never did. They don't value the people that keep their company running. They give you just enough to shut you up and keep you working.
Yeah.
Well, the best example of that is like stripping in like the waitstaff industry.
Yeah.
They give you just enough to make weekly so you can't make a salary.
Yeah,
monthly.
so that you can't make plans past a week.
Right.
Like they always hold you hostage and you make this deal where, I get 2 weeks a year that I can go do something.
Right.
Meanwhile, like you're literally breaking my body and sucking my soul.
Yeah, but you make $200 on a Saturday. Yeah, but I make $300 for the week.
Yeah, and meanwhile, some fucking sales guy who went to the University of Phoenix online is making like 6 figures for a phone call.
Yeah,
and he's not good at his job.
No.
They literally like it's not even like he's competing like. It all comes down to price. Contractors don't give a fuck about salesmen. They care about the price. You lower your price, all of a sudden you get Sunbelt's contracts.
It's funny when you ask these white collar people, like, "Hey, what do you do?"
Yeah,
they can never give you an answer.
No,
never, never.
Not really. Like
it's really just refreshing their emails. That's all it is.
Yeah, like and then occasionally a customer will call and complain about something, and then it's their job to throw you under the bus.
Yeah,
like they never take responsibility.
It's like. What do you do? Oh, I'm the vice president at the biggest so-and-so company.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you do? Like, what? I'm the vice president.
I oversee things. Shut the fuck up.
I got in trouble once because there was a piece of equipment I downed and wasn't good. And I told my boss they needed it. I'm like, this is not good to go. It's not working right. And then they took it and it was gone the next day. I'm like, oh, well, I guess they took it. And then literally 2 days later, I'm sitting in the office. How dare you do this? I'm like, I did it. It was red tagged. You took it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we needed to make this rental, and you knew that. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't give me the parts to fix it.
Right.
So it wasn't gonna make the rental.
What?
So like, what do you?
So that lube tech job, they had me down there in the pit and with like no training. It's really just an entry level job to be working on people's cars every day.
Yeah.
One day I'm down there. We take in a Subaru for us only ever taking in American made cars.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the shit for it. I have no training. I accidentally drained a Subaru's transmission fluid over the oil. And like, I didn't want to sound like it in his office, but I ended up saying it anyways. I'm like, well, this isn't my fault. No one trained me, dude. Yeah. I make $8.50 an hour and my boss is someone 2 years older than me and he's watching fucking cheerleading videos and destruction blowing shit up.
Yeah. And wondering why it's taking you so long.
Yeah. It's because I'm standing like this under here trying to figure out how to do this.
Yeah. That was honestly the job in New Mexico. Like, so I this is a giant work crew because we're building a big ass solar farm, but we were almost done. And now it's like I'm supposed to start getting these equipment one by one to disassemble it and get it ready for shipping. This is equipment, mind you, I've maybe been working with for 3 months, but I'm actually, that was a nice thing. I learned I got my confidence on mechanic work back. It's like, oh damn, I am really good at this because the crews fucking love me.
Right.
And my boss, like the guy who was supposed to be running the job site, he fucked off before we broke down. He fucked off to he went back to Louisiana and he was like, I'll see you at the next site. The guys are gonna help you break down this entire fleet of heavy equipment, and then we'll meet you over there. He's like, and I'm like, none of that happened, by the way. None of
It never does.
No, every day new pieces of the crew were disappearing. They would get arrested. They were like, for real, they get arrested, they get deported. Like shit was like every day there was like until it was like there was one guy that knew more where everything was supposed to be and to handle like the buildings and stuff, breaking down that shit. He got arrested.
The one overseer.
No, the first his truck got stolen, and then somebody used it to rip out an ATM. Shit. And then he's like, I need to go home for like a weekend to like see my kids
to count his money. That was his plan. No one stole his truck.
Apparently so, because he got arrested when he got home. Like, so then I'm like, and I'm like sitting in the middle of the desert during a fucking sandstorm, and my boss is like screaming at me from Louisiana. I'm like, bitch, I've been here like 5 months, dude. And I'm only here for the equipment, not for the buildings, not for the toolbox.
This is y'all's.
He's like, you're supposed to do an inventory. You got promoted to this. I'm like, people kept disappearing, and then he kept promoting me without telling me, and then yelling at me about it. Like, this is your job. And I'm like, it wasn't last week. Like, there's no memo. Like, what are we doing?
Where's my fucking nameplate?
And again, there's so many bosses, like, they don't do shit. Like, they can't explain to you what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Almost exactly like you said. Do you know what the Gaylord is? That hotel down here?
I know where the Gaylord is.
Yeah. So I worked on one of those ice crews they do over Christmas break.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened. The main lady just left one night, and I was supposed to be on the takedown crew. And they said, okay, if you work takedown crew, you get free pizza, but you have to take it all down. And then she left, and the only dude above me, on my level with like people, was a guy that was again 2 years older than me, and we all just ate the pizza and left and blocked her number.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
You can't do anything. I'm not coming back. I made fucking $8.
Yeah. It never changes. It just gets progressively worse. And I was like, okay, I know I could have been I was a badass mechanic. I feel good about myself. I just did a bunch of shit that I wasn't trained to do, and I did it well.
Right.
So like, you know what? I'm done. But it was also good to get into Albuquerque. That's a good scene. It actually is it's like a nice local scene.
Right.
It was fun. Like the comics were very friendly. It kind of got me back into grinding again a little bit, like writing more and stuff. Because the longer I was there, the more I realized like I'm done with this kind of shit.
Yeah. So these are pretty awful jobs to have in general. What was the worst job you had as a kid? That's always a fun question to ask, in my opinion.
Oh, that's a tough one. I've had some pretty fucking terrible jobs as a kid. Like, it's kind of a two-way tie. I worked when I ran away from home, I lived in Idaho for like a year.
Can we pause? You ran away from home?
Yeah, when I was 15.
Can we hear that story?
My childhood was fucked and weird, and it got bad. It got to a point with my mom where it's like, I either gonna kill myself or I need to leave.
Well, it's a good thing you left.
So I just left, and then I just ended up in fucking Driggs, Idaho.
Jesus Christ! Maybe you should have killed yourself.
Yeah, like I went from being like an LA drugged out kid to being like going to school in the basement of a church, and I was kind of.
And you weren't allowed to dance.
No, I wasn't allowed to dance. I remember they used to ask me things because like they so isolated their kids from shit. So like I remember like one day like all the teachers called me in, like the guys that ran the school, the pastor called me into a meeting, and I thought I did something, and it was literally so that I could explain the significance of Jinkos, because they were trying to figure out if they should let the kids wear Jinkos. And it was like,
you became the gatekeeper on.
Yeah,
no offense, buddy, but I never looked at you and was like, that guy is gonna be gatekeeping fashion.
Hey, in the '90s, I had my shit together, bro. I knew things. Like, honestly, this is kind of what was in the '90s, bro. It's like I just stayed there. That's all. I stayed in my lane, and no, but it was just I'm sitting around these people, and it's like I'm literally like I'm teaching fucking religious people about raves. Like, why am I like this is not like
they're looking at you like this well sought after travel
dude, music, like everything. It was like magazines. Like, I found this in my son's room. What does this mean? I'm like, I don't know. Leave me alone. Like, I don't like. I'm dealing with my own shit. Like, let's back off.
My son was playing the CD from the devil.
Exactly.
The Beatles.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
dude. That was the other thing too. Like Christian communities, like, they don't just isolate the kids from like what's happening in mainstream society. They duplicate it.
Yes, dude.
They try to sell you Jesus like it's Coca-Cola. Like, it's like, no, it's like the Pepsi generation, except it's Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that, and there are kids that hear from their parents, and I don't know if they're like their parents are actively doing it or they're trying to impress their parents, but like their parents hate anyone who's not a Christian, so they end up hating anyone who's not a Christian. I actively lost friends growing up because I said I didn't even know if I was. Now I'm agnostic. I don't necessarily know what I believe, but
yeah, and but it's just like it's very rigid. They're not open-minded to anything, but they're willing to steal like fucking intellectual property from everybody. Like, there's this one group, I forget what their name is.
Being a white person.
Yeah. So there's this one movie that was kind of big with the Christians, like, where they were like, you should watch this movie. If you're not a Christian, it'll make you a Christian. It's a terrible movie. It's called God's Not Dead. And they've made sequels like this.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Is this the one of the kid that fell in the lake?
One of them they made a lot of them. Like, they're very terrible movies.
I think it's a Dennis Quaid movie.
Dennis Quaid.
It's
Okay.
more like a Randy Quaid movie. Like, I know Kevin Servo is in the one I saw. That was Hercules from TV's Hercules. Yeah, because he's super Christian now, or at least that's the only people that are hiring him anymore. Yeah, it was so fucking bad. Like, and there's this band that's in this movie, and this band, like, if you look into this band, they literally reinvent their sound like every 2 years. Like, they were a boy band at one point, and by the time I got to them, they were kind of like hipster, like, wannabe, like, yeah, it was very Brooklyn, but it was like, but Jesus.
Yeah.
And they put it, like, they're a terrible group. They're fucking awful. But they put out this whole album, and I'm a music nerd. Like, I grew up in LA. Like, I went to concerts a lot. I went to fucking shows and fucking basements and shit. Like, but I'm also like, I'm into classic shit. I'm into vinyl. Like, I'm like, I was into all that shit. And I'm listening, and they're like, that was the other thing too. They were always trying to say, like, no, this is good music. This is just like the shit you like. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because they stole it.
Yeah.
Like, is that Christian? Like,
you heard of this guy, Barry Gordy?
Yeah, like, but anyways, back to this band, man. So their new album, they're like, we were really inspired by Bob Dylan, and I listened to it. I listened to the first song, and I listened to the second song, and it's a track-for-track ripoff of Blood on the Tracks. Like, a track-for-track ripoff of Blood on the... It's, like, so bad. Shit. It's like, yeah, you were really inspired to steal it. And it's just like... And it's crazy, too, because if you're a music nerd, that album is the most personal album he ever made.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that, he's literally talking about his divorce. Like, it's the... Like, of all the Bob Dylan albums and all the, like, the code and the subtext and shit, this is the most concise. I'm sad. My marriage ended. I'm probably not going to see my kid anymore. And they took that, and it's like, let's sell Jesus with it.
Why don't you try stealing Hurricane just for that middle part where they say that one word?
Yeah. They would. That was probably the second album. I don't know. They were working up to it,
South Park did an episode about that, the Christian rock band.
Yeah.
Where they're
Faith
ripping
Plus
off
One.
they're ripping off the songs.
I think Carbon could never win because they could never go platinum.
Yeah.
There's no platinum in Christian rock. It's just, But like it was just crazy the depths of not just the isolation, but almost like this false world they were trying to construct. They're like, we're gonna build a Christian version of what already exists in this isolated community.
Right. Well, and if they believe in it so much, it would be so who of them to come at like non-believers or like even just because I was that kid that would go to friends with on Wednesday night mass or whatever it was, and I would ask questions, and they hated me.
Yeah, they don't like every question that you think would have nuance and you really want to understand. It ends up being some form of demon possession.
And dude, I'm 8. Fucking just lie to me with confidence, and I'll probably be a Christian when I'm 40.
Yeah. I remember they told me homosexuality was demon possession, and then also aliens were demons. And then I was like, what about dinosaurs? Dead demons. And it was just like, and then like
so gasoline, gays, and aliens all fucking demons.
Demons. It's the devil, and like they have their own scientists, creation scientists that will give you this very, very, very fucking hand-selected, curated evidence that tells you no, like humans were around with the dinosaurs. They were just demons, and we didn't know how to. We eventually killed them all.
Right.
And
I always get curious at the people that like. You didn't look at Scientology and how you could track all of Scientology because it started in the 50s, and then see like look at all the other religions and like, oh, I could see you just trying to piece everything together now.
Yeah, the guy was Scientology. I have stories on that shit.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Can I hear them?
Good ones?
No, scary ones. Like, I had a friend who
Lee Ramini level ones.
I grew up with somebody that was their family was very involved and then tried to leave, and it was hell on earth. Like
Really?
they really like the kidnappings, fucking like all because the dad was like some kind of he was like in the office, so he knew some shit. So them leaving was a real problem.
Well, that was like the whole Danny Masterson shit. Hide from that 70s show. Like he was deeply involved in Scientology, and Scientology was trying to cover up the sexual assaults he did.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't get prosecuted for like 20 years.
Well, because in the church too, they tell you come to the church before you go to the authorities about anything.
Right.
So like that. So basically, that's a good way of keeping. And also, Danny was like good for business. Like Danny, because Danny got even though the other ones didn't join Scientology, he got them to go to all their functions and shit.
Right.
So like that's what they want. It's
they want celebrities.
Yeah, but like, have you ever read that Dianetics? Have you, dude? You get to realize how low a caliber sci-fi writer he was. Like that's what he was before Scientology. He was a sci-fi writer, and his claim to fame was that he could write 2 praises for the price of what another writer could. He was the cheapest by word because they used to pay by the word. He was the cheapest writer by the word, so he got printed a lot because he didn't cost anything that much.
Right. Okay. If you give me 1 second and y'all Vamp or Blake will cut this out. I'm reading a book and it's talking about this right now, but I gotta go grab it. It's right here.
He got up like he had to like take a shit.
Yeah, he's just really excited about Dianetics. like he just wants to show us his Phaeton readings and.
So this is a book I bought off of Amazon. It was written by another comic, KP Burke, and the title of it is "History Isn't Boring, Your Teacher Was."
Yeah.
And I just read it. Nazi, Epstein, Edgar Allan Poe, President's Daughter.
Were they have an Epstein?
That sounds like a hell of an orgy.
Yeah, I mean the first chapter is J. Edgar Hoover's sex tape. Like this book is a trip. I love it.
God, that's a sex tape that nobody wants to see.
No.
That guy looked like a bulldog's ass, bro. It's like,
So that was
that's
the whole...
a rough fuck. Even if you're doing it to like ladder climb.
Yeah.
Even if you're just trying to
or trying to clear some evidence.
Yeah, just that's a rough fuck.
Apparently, he had dirt on everybody.
Oh yeah,
everybody.
Well, so he got trapped up in that because the lady that got the sex tape with him was a Russian spy or a German spy. I can't remember which. But okay, so the title of this chapter was NASA and the Occult Linked. But he was talking about Jack Parsons, the original man who helped launch the U.S. space program, operated a sex cult and accidentally started a religion. Jack Parsons was with a lady. Oh, I'm trying to fucking read as I can. Jack and his wife were taken to the Church of Thelma in Hollywood. Jack's obsession with the occult deepened. He caught the eye of the Aleister Crowley and began to combine the occults of sex magic with his understanding of quantum physics and, more importantly...
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, Ian Mack, friend of the show. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Ian. I'm doing a podcast right now. You're on speaker. Hey, buddy.
What's going on, Ian? It's Paxton.
It's Paxton.
What's going on, friend? How you doing?
We're talking about Scientology. Do you care to weigh in?
Not gonna get put on that list.
You want an acting career. I get it.
Hey, you got to replace Danny.
Oh, just no. I mean, kind of. I don't know. We're more going in the origin story.
It started with Danny Masterson originally, and then
Yeah.
it spread out elsewhere.
That chick from King and Queens is on there, right?
Yeah.
She's one of them.
Well, she left it.
Yeah.
And she tells the story about leaving and how, like...
Well, she basically made her new her second
Oh, yeah.
career life about taking down that church, and she's
Yeah.
done a hell of a job, man.
Yeah.
She's like she grew up in it, so she knows more than most.
Right.
She knows where all the secret handkerchiefs are and shit. Like what sheet you have to poke a hole in, and
Well, she explained how much money you have to pay in to,
Yeah.
like, make the certain levels,
yeah.
which is weird.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you're not really giving them your money. The way was explained to me, they hold it for you because you're gonna get reincarnated. So they're like, it's more like it's the spiritual bank of Scientology. You'll get it in your next life.
It's a Scientology Roth IRA. Like,
Yeah, that's why they do the interviews and the Phaeton readings so they can test you. It's their security level.
Yeah.
So when you come to open back up that account in your new life, you can be like, hey, let's talk about some things. First of all, your Phaeton readings don't match from your last life. They just don't. I'm sorry. Like somehow, if it is you leveled down. Like
These
your
dividends on faith aren't tracking.
yeah, your credit is terrible if this is really you.
That's
Also,
really-
you look nothing like your second mother, so this is not gonna work.
yeah, we're not going to give you your money back.
No. There's always something. They always get you on a technicality, right? Like, am I right or am I right?
they were insurance
It's
people
like
first.
banks be banking,
Yeah.
bro. That's just what they do. Hey, I'll call you back later, man.
All right, buddy, you'll be good.
You too.
Good to hear from you, Paxton.
Later, you too, Ian.
See you, bud.
Later.
Later.
Okay, so back to this. Parsons and his wife were severely addicted to rocketry, sex, and a bunch of different hallucinogenic drugs.
Which
Um,
sounds hot, bro.
It sounds...
That sounds like the strongest foundation to build a marriage on.
You'd think, but then Parsons takes his wife to meet his newfound friend Ron L. Hubbard. Yes, that one.
Ooh, there you go.
Smart enough to help create a modern space shuttle, but for some reason he was not smart enough to not let Ron L. Hubbard run away with his wife down to Florida.
Yeah.
That would have been a weird sex
oh.
tape.
Honestly,
Also
I'm
with his
surprised-
life savings.
Considering how he died, I'm surprised he was into that.
Yeah.
How'd he
and-
die?
He died on a yacht in Mexico surrounded by underage boys with no clothes. Like, that's how he died.
How the fuck have I not heard of
Yeah,
that?
I've never heard about
Really?
That's not something...
Well, technically, it didn't happen.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But the Mexican authorities, even though they take bribes, they're like, no, that shit happened, bro. like,
They're just giving away the
like-
yacht as penance.
like-
Hey, don't talk about
yeah,
this.
they knew what he was up to when he was alive. That's
Shh.
now he can no longer pay for them to keep their mouths shut.
Yeah, take the
Like,
boys or leave them, but you get the
Yeah.
boat if you don't talk about this.
Yeah, like he died weird. He died in a very, hard to talk your way out of situation. if he was set up, that was a hell of a job they did.
One picture is all the evidence they need.
I know. It's just like they didn't even need a picture. They found his dead body on the yacht, bro. It's like that's a hell of evidence. It's like it's literally his corpse. Like
This seems doctored. Oh, well, there's his body right
Yeah.
there.
And then they were like, no, that was somebody set him up, and it's like that. He must have really pissed somebody
Yeah.
off, like
To
that-
drag him
like,
onto a boat with
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of
like,
children.
They didn't just kill him; they killed him. They killed his memory. They killed how everyone would see him for the rest of the time. And it's like, and honestly, whoever killed him would have been a way better writer than him. Like, had a way better imagination. Would have made a better religion. Like, honestly.
It was one of those examples
Just,
of the Bill Burr bit where you kill the Chinese emperor, you got to kill his goldfish too.
Yeah, like it's so definitive. It's like I don't think he knew anybody that wrote that well. Like he's
That's great.
So, have you got any stories from working on the road yet? You've been doing a lot more shows since I've last gotten to talk to you.
I mean, we could talk about New Mexico. That was pretty fucking crazy.
What was the New Mexico show like?
Well,
Or shows?
Yeah, we were. The scene's cool. Like we were doing like the club and like a few of the.
What's the
local
club out there?
Well, Hyenas is out there now. It wasn't when
I knew that. Yeah.
Dry Heat. Dry
Dry
Heat.
Heat.
It's an indie club. It's very much kind of like in the same vein as. Have you been to Secret Group in Houston?
Not yet, but I've seen and heard about it.
It's like a more chill Secret Group. Secret Group is kind of aggro in a good way, and I
Okay.
fucking love that place. But like it's kind of more like a more chill Secret Group. Like it's a good place to develop. It's it's a safe spot for you to try. Like they're not as very big, but they're very enthusiastic, and it's very DIY.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like, and they all like, it's like I'm sure they got their own foibles, but their own like little backbiting, drama bullshit. But they all tend to like support each other. Like,
Oh, that's awesome.
like even like I was like that. There's a couple. You know how you started. There's some people producing shows that aren't good enough.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be producing shows. They should focus on getting better.
Yeah.
They're still like like they support that person too. It's like, man, I hope he gets better. Like they're literally like, I hope he improves because right now it's hard. But like,
Right.
they keep supporting him. They want you to grow, and
That's nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, if you go look at it, like a scene will grow if one person pops. So, like, if you're
Yeah.
just friends with everyone, I mean, like,
And then-
no one knew who Tommy Pope was for a long time, and now Tommy Pope is a big name because he's friends with Shane and very funny in his own right.
and New Mexico's had a couple comics pop, and like and they kind of share a lot of the same ground with Colorado because it's right there.
Right.
And Utah's got a decent scene. It's kind of an interesting. It's a good scene. It's like there's some good comics in it, surprisingly good comics in it, and it's really underrated. So I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so you were talking about being an LA kid and growing up and going and seeing a billion concerts. What was your first concert? What's been your favorite concert?
First concert's weird. Let me think. Oh, first I went and saw the Aquabats.
Aquabats. I don't even know them.
Is
Yeah.
that the Barbie girl?
No,
No.
that's
That's the Aquanets, I think.
I think it's like I think they're just
Aquanets
called
is
Aqua.
Hairspray.
No, so Bobcat Goldthwait found this ska band, and they just dressed like in demented 1960s cartoon superheroes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they look
God.
like schizophrenic Wiggles.
Yeah, and it was so fun, and it was like I don't know, they were that was a fun show to go to. It was just wild,
It's like the Bloodhound Gang almost.
dude. Bloodhound Game was good.
You
Like
saw them live?
I've seen Bloodhound Game. I saw Sublime before Bradley died.
No shit.
Yeah, when I was a kid, because was living in Long Beach around the time where they were starting to make a name for
Yeah.
themselves, and I was in this like dive ass. I think it was. I might be mistaken on the names because it's been a long time, but it was like I want to call the bar Yankee Doodles or some shit. I used to sneak in there and do Jello shots because the waitresses didn't pay that much attention,
No.
even though I was like maybe 12.
They're all just hot dumbs at that point.
yeah.
They're just trying to get through their shift.
And like I don't know, like Sublime was like in Long Beach, they were everything.
Right.
Like they really were. They meant so much to so many people. I know people dog on them, but like that guy, like Bradley spoke to me when I heard his shit. It was like, oh shit.
He's such a weird like musical like tone, like especially like with his voice.
Well, that was the thing too. Is like everybody thought he was black.
Yeah.
Like everybody thought he was like if you like fucking what's her name, Gwen Stefani, before she just hearing him thought he was black because he has like this crazy like beautiful soul voice,
right.
but he's singing about such fucked up like street like Long Beach street shit
Right.
I would see on a regular basis. Like it was real shit he was talking about.
I
He's
think
the
I-
reincarnate Tom Jones.
I think I read that like his dad would take him down to Jamaica whenever he was a kid, so he grew up around reggae.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's kind of where his roots came from.
like the reggae and ska thing, and it's like I know people make fun of it, and these guys were just like crazy cartoonish versions of it.
Like, were these people, were the Aquabats for kids?
No,
Okay.
they were adults. It was very much.
Because that guy looks like the dude from Lazy Town.
It was very much the Adult Swim vibe. Like, remember when they started to took C-Lab and made it like crazy and fun and dumb, and that's what ska was when I was a kid. It was fun, dude. Like, I remember I once saw Safe Ferris. Safe Ferris was fucking great.
That's fun.
You don't know who they are?
I don't know who they are. I just know it's a reference to Ferris Bueller, so I'm in.
They got really big because they did a cover of "Come On Eileen," and the lead singer
really?
was so fucking hot. She was
Oh, really?
oh, dude, smoke show. But it was such a good cover.
Save. Ferris is spelled the same?
Yeah, it's even the name was like it was an '80s throwback because it's what they that movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Like that's what they put on the water tower when he was faking
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, it was like, dude, I was in love with her, bro. And
God. That's just one high school's music department.
yeah. Like they were ahead of their time. Don't they all look gender binary?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
I was just about to say, they all look
that
gender
was the
binary.
90s, bro. Like,
Yeah,
And
did
they all look
take
like
that yesterday?
yeah, it's like
They all look gender binary and like
Yeah.
youth group leaders.
yeah, exactly.
Like that's the fun one that
Yeah.
you need to rope in sometimes.
That's
but the
Miss
rest-
Frizzle.
She's the one that gets all the lesbians to join the youth group. she gay baits them. Like they all want to have their first experience with her, and then it doesn't happen, and then they're just bummed. And then they just go to college all disappointed and unexperienced.
But this guy's hitting on those lesbians. The guy with
Yeah.
the green hair.
And sometimes he passes as one. Like he gets sometimes you don't, especially in the winter times when he's wearing layers, bro. Like you don't know till you get into the bed. It's like, well, we're already here, you know.
It's like meeting with a ladyboy in Taiwan. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just take them home and then you
Yeah.
find out you're sucking off a dude that night.
Hey, if you just roll with it, I'll introduce you to the lead singer tomorrow. But yeah, like shit like that. But I was also into like punk shit, like fucking Guttermouth and fucking Offspring was still kind of in between, but like mainstream
Right.
and shit like that. I don't know, dude. I was into a lot. Like I was into. I'm trying to think of like what else I was into.
Is ska, like, I've heard a bunch of people say this before. Do you agree that ska is punk with horns?
This is the fucked thing about ska. Like I know this, and I know too much about ska.
Right.
Like, you should never tell people how much you know about ska, because
And you're about to broadcast it to all
they
of the 30
prejudge.
people
But
that
you
are
know,
going to
fuck
watch
it.
this.
Look at me. Like what? I don't got nothing to lose. Judge me if you want, motherfucker. Ska is cool.
Looking at you and saying that guy looks like he likes ska isn't the worst thing you've heard.
No, for real. Like fucking.
That is a crazy T-shirt too.
Yeah.
We haven't even addressed that.
No, it's like we shouldn't. It's not everything is for everybody.
You don't have to address that. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, to most people.
They're both legends, and
Yeah.
you like to watch both of them fuck. You know,
Exactly.
It's just
I look at that shirt and
Yeah,
I think of the beginning of Reservoir Dogs
like-
where he's talking about like a virgin because a black guy
Yeah.
fucked her so good.
everybody wants to go back in time and kill Hitler. I want to go back in time and take Tupac to fuck.
Monroe.
Yeah, I want him to fuck Monroe. I want to fuck Monroe just so I can watch. I want him to be in the room. I don't have to be part of it. I just want to see how it goes.
Part of me wants to sit Biggie and Tupac down and resolve it, but also part of me knows I love both of those hit tracks and knew that was coming.
Hey, let's just like be real. Like they didn't kill each. They're the
No,
it-
Diddy did it.
Yeah.
yeah, they got fucked over. Like Diddy did them dirty. Like
Well, from what I understand, it was Biggie asked Puffy to take care of it, and
Yeah.
Puffy literally took care of him. He's like, "What the fuck, man? Like I thought I asked you to get like a bottle of water."
yeah, like, it's like maybe suck something in the water. But there was a miscommunication. He just woke up with a gun. It's like, oh shit, this went way too far.
Quick, buy all the baby oil.
Johnson & Johnson, that company just can't catch a break.
No. First the vaccine, now the baby oil.
Yeah.
Their best selling
It's
now.
like,
They're just
it's like
tanking.
we're either gonna kill you or fuck you. Pick one.
Do you think there's any truth held to the audio of Meek Mill getting fucked by him? Do you think that's real? Or do you
Meat
think
Mill's gotta stay off social media for real, bro. Like, I don't really follow it much, but like Joey shows me shit is like, this guy's, he doesn't, like, every time he tries to make an argument against how he didn't get fucked, it makes it sound more and more like he got fucked. Like, it's the, I was like, it's like,
no, if anything, I'd be fucking Diddy. Like, that's not what you're supposed to say right now.
yeah, it's like maybe you took turns. I don't know. Like, you shouldn't even be in the vicinity of a bed and Baby was like,
Say you weren't there.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
lawyers
it's
say
like-
you're not there.
it's like, I don't need to fuck Diddy with baby oil. I have baby oil in my house. I have baby oil for days. You think I'm broke? You think I'm buying fucking buying the generic shit?
I got it at home because Diddy said to have some.
Yeah.
Have you heard that conspiracy that they're saying like our government was using Diddy as like an Epstein type of plant
Sure.
for like to get control of like Hollywood?
I mean, to what end? Like, Diddy's not been really good about selling wars. Like, he didn't really help out in Iraq at all.
No.
like he didn't pull
But-
his weight in Afghanistan. Maybe that's why they ended the contract, because he wasn't really doing anything.
But like, who knows what kind of videos he has of like
Yeah.
powerful people?
I think it was more like for him to leverage power in the industry for himself, or for like, you know, because honestly, the only reason we know any of this shit is because he tried to fuck a big liquor distributor out of a contract, and they put private investigators, like good ones, like the ones you don't know about,
Right.
and on his ass. And it's just like, dude, if he just let he got fucked because he fucked with a bigger fish.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go after alcohol.
No.
He owns us $1 million of tequila, but he also has secret tunnels.
Yeah.
So-
like, yeah. You know, we know because we dug them for him. Like, that was part of the original contract. I don't know why he's not keeping to it. It's like, we pre-drugged all his tequila. What does he want from us? Like, this is like, you know, he's being unreasonable. We're just gonna have to end it. We're ending the program now.
And now
It was hubris. It's just sometimes you find sometimes you
hubris.
yeah. It's like,
Sometimes you just stumble into
yeah, it's
something
like
that's just too good.
he could have had a nice life, extorting, raping, killing, and he had this like, nah, I can't leave any of that money on the table.
That's why
He
they
just
always
went-
say don't get too
Yeah.
greedy.
yeah, exactly. If he just done that deal, it still would have made him insanely rich.
Yeah.
like
Right.
it was an absurd amount of money for anyone to have, but not enough for Diddy.
You could have
Nothing's
been
ever
fucking-
enough for
no.
Diddy.
You could have been fucking anyone
Yeah.
in those tunnels, but you wanted a
Yeah.
little bit more on your
It's
liquor
like,
sale.
you can't just have one bottle of baby oil. You gotta have 1,000, bro. Like, and you can't even buy it from Costco. You lie and tell people you did. That was the funniest shit. Costco's like, we don't even sell Johnson & Johnson. We sell Kirkland Signature. Like, and everybody knows it. Like, it sounds like you don't even have a subscription. You don't even have a membership. What are you even fucking talking about?
Being the Costco rep, you're like, these motherfuckers know
Yeah.
it's Kirkland and Kirkland only.
It'd just be funny to see Diddy going around on free sample day. Just fucking, it's like,
Well, shit, I started thinking when you were talking about the wars that he said, I started thinking about if Diddy or if War Dogs was based on Diddy instead of a Jewish dude.
yeah.
And how fucking funny that movie would be.
we just drove through the Triangle of Death. Let's fuck some kids. Honestly, it would have been cheaper in Iraq, bro.
Talking about selling
Yeah.
Chinese bullets and maybe kids, but leave the kids.
Yeah,
some
leave
of
the kids. I was like, yeah.
Dude, that was a crazy story. War Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really like they say it's not one of the most far off movies from the truth.
No, yeah.
No.
Apparently, it's pretty accurate.
According to the guy that actually lived it, he's like, yeah, like, I was
Yeah.
like, this is what happened, and everybody's like, nah.
Yeah.
It's like, no, yeah, like,
Yeah, we had a whole hard drive that said everything that we did, and we just gave it to the feds.
That guy that played 8 Guys in Moneyball, he's playing that correctly.
yeah, it's like that's. It's
In fact, he held back a little.
he did. Like, they literally, like, he did crazier shit, and they literally they. I watched an interview and he was like saying they literally took stuff out of the script because they didn't believe it. Like, that's they did because it was like,
Yeah.
no one's ever gonna believe this. I'm like, it happened though.
That's why he did it.
Yeah, like, I'm trying. This is why this is a good book.
Yeah.
Like, this is why you want to make a movie.
Yeah, like every other time when you think you're catching someone in a lie like that, you're like, no, it's true because of this. You're like, no, it just happened,
Like,
and I'm not explaining it anymore.
Remember when Hollywood would exaggerate and make something sound crazier? And now
Yeah.
they're going the other way. They're like, we don't want to have any hints of creativity in case we got to pay for it.
Well,
you know?
These stories don't need a Michael Bay behind them.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the Argo movie, you know, that Ben Affleck movie where they're saving the people from, I forget where they were.
It was a
But
Ben
you-
Affleck movie. It's easy to forget.
Yeah, but you know, like at
Massachusetts, probably.
the very end, they have like that like crazy plane chase. They're like, oh yeah, that didn't happen. We just had to throw that in there for Hollywood reasons.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
Well, cool. The pivotal point of the movie wasn't fucking real.
Well, down
Well,
to
also-
even remember the Alamo, that inspirational and educational movie they show you in 4th grade.
Yeah.
It's fucking wrong as
oh
hell.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, you'd have to doctor this up a lot.
But also, they're chasing him down the runway. Do they not have any aircraft? Like, don't they have any like fucking like anti-aircraft?
Yeah.
guns and shit? Like, this is a sealed airport by the military. You can only land if the government lets you. They're gonna chase you, and they're like, nah. He
Yeah.
got to the plane. He's safe.
Yeah.
It's just like.
He was in Goodwill Hunting.
Statute of
Like,
limitations.
Yeah, it's like the same freeze tag. What the fuck are we like? No, they would have sent some shitty old fucking Soviet jets after his ass. Like whatever they could have bought him didn't even need to be supersonic. You're flying in a shitty private jet that has to fly in domestic ports. You could. I'm sorry, I'm doing too much logic, but it doesn't make any sense. This is my autism that ruins everything for me. Like you can't make a movie that.
I'm sorry for working you up over a
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
I know.
movie.
It's mostly about the plane. I don't give a shit about Ben Affleck. I'm obsessed with planes. Like, fuck trains. Planes, bro. Take me to an air show, and whatever happens is on you.
That's how you know someone with autism went Super Saiyan as they get on the planes.
Yeah, for me, dude, you would... And it's going to be your fault, too, because I'm not going to stop talking. Like,
You a fan of the Blue Angels?
Yeah, I've seen the Blue Angels and the... Damn, why am I... I'm high.
I love that realization. Like, why am I?
Yeah.
Oh.
and the... What's the fucking... The Air Force... The Thunderbirds.
Yeah, the Thunderbirds.
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen them both. I've seen it. I went and saw the F-22 when they did the demo. I saw the F-35. I've been one inside the fucking what's the doesn't matter. You don't know what I'm talking about anyway.
So you're addicted to planes. You've got to have some sort of opinion in all these plane crashes out of nowhere.
Yeah, stop flying in Boeing 777s, bro. Like they're bad planes, bro. They were designed. No, I can tell you why they keep crashing. Like,
Go ahead.
Okay, they designed the engines to be economical, but the plane's too big.
Right.
So if they get into any kind of course correction,
Yeah.
especially at takeoff and landing, critical times,
Yeah.
like they don't have enough power to pull out of a bad situation. Like it's literally like they're like a Prius that shouldn't fly.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So my first car was a Charger, and it was a V6 Charger. So it's the same thing. Where like
Yeah.
it was so everyone was like, "Damn, dude, your car sounds loud." I'm like, no, it's loud because it's a fucking Prius engine pulling a boat.
yeah, well, the V6. This is the shitty thing. It was a good engine. No, it's not a good. It's a crap engine. I'm sorry. I was like, it's a crap engine,
I was
but
like, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
but it was 300 horsepower when it worked.
Right.
Yeah.
When it worked, so like 300 horsepower V6 is a pretty fucking like just ostensibly is a powerful engine. It's just it was the Pentastar and it had like a million recalls on it. It was just badly engineered.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it worked like gangbusters. Like honestly, most people are too stupid to know the difference between a Hemi and a V6 anyway. Like they wouldn't
Yeah,
know the
they're
difference.
just like, oh, it looks
It's like
cool.
this sounds loud.
It's a Challenger. That's a cool name.
Yeah,
They named
like
the space shuttle that.
They put the dual exhaust. Like Ford, like Chevy was smart to do that. And Ford was dumb because they held off. They used to be on the V6. You'd only have the one fucking
Yeah, tailpipe.
tailpipe. But if you do and honestly, it works better for a V6 anyway.
Mhm.
Like it makes it look like it's a better car than it is, and most people don't know shit, so it's fine. It's good enough.
Well, these people that are making these cars, they're smart at their job.
I mean,
Right.
they're smart at selling shit.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much anymore, dude. Chrysler's about to go under.
Really?
Dude, Chrysler's they got bought by this Indian conglomerate.
I thought Chrysler was the parent. Is Chrysler not the parent?
No,
Who's the Chrysler parent?
I
Who's
think
above them?
GM.
no.
No,
No.
'cause that's the
GM
Dodge
is-
line.
Yeah, GM is Cadillac, GMC,
Chevy, yeah.
Chevy.
Isn't it Dodge, Fiat, all that whole parent line?
I don't know. It was like
Jeep.
Dodge, Fiat, Jeep, Chrysler, Plymouth at one point, but not anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a while there where they were merged with Daimler Benz, which Daimler makes Mercedes. So there was some weird crossover there.
Mhm.
But then like Daimler got the fuck out of it when they saw the tire fire that was that company.
Yeah.
And then they were owned by like I think it's an Indian firm, and they were like, we're gonna take 7 years and turn Chrysler around. And after 2 years, they're like, you know what? If they don't figure it out in the next 2, we're done. Like we can't, like they're not.
But Chrysler's always been a bad car.
No,
Not really.
no,
I mean, a Chrysler 200 is great, honestly.
yeah.
Especially for the what you're gonna spend. It's a really good car.
They've been a bad car since the like late 80s
Yeah.
because that's when they almost went under before.
Okay.
Like they've been a bad company since then, but every once in a while they'll make cool looking shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not good. It's good when it works.
Well, I mean, the 300 saved them because it looked like Cat Williams said, like a Phantom.
Yeah, but again, most of them got the V6.
Yeah.
And also they don't handle very well. Like
No.
they drives like you have a good ride because they're old people cars.
They're
Like,
boats.
Yeah, they have like a smushy suspension, but like without the V, they're just boats. Yeah, they look the part, but they don't.
I used to have this old Vietnam vet that I worked for, and he would call them bootleg Bentleys.
Yeah, basically, that's what they were trying to imitate. Like they were trying to make that shit look that way, but especially when they were in with Daimler, there was a big push that way because, like Daimler, like Mercedes makes cool shit.
Yeah.
Well, they knew what they were doing. They were trying to make a budget car
Yeah.
for someone who was trying to pimp on a fucking price.
It's like a Chrysler Crossfire is a Mercedes. It really is.
Yeah.
Like it's a Mercedes with really shitty, like a really shitty interior.
Yeah.
and like really bad like bodywork.
Well, and it's the same thing with a Camry or a Corolla, whatever specifically it is, but like with a Lexus. A
Yeah.
Lexus is one of the best cars I've ever driven, so by way, a Camry is too. It just didn't have all the bells and whistles.
They're not, honestly, they're having problems right now too.
Really?
Well, this is the problem with Toyota. And because I know this because I've worked on cars. I've been a mechanic for years. The problem with Toyota is like they have such a good reputation, but in Japan, reputation is everything. So they're very slow to recognize when something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like there was a while there where the Lexuses were literally you couldn't the brakes stopped working and like the gas pedal would just go down, hit the floor, and people were hitting fucking pillars going under bridges. Like they couldn't stop the car. And I remember Lexus dragged their face like, it's not us, it's them. It's not, and then it was them.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
every time it's them, they have to commit
Yeah.
seppuku just to bring honor on
Yeah,
memory.
like so many generations have to die, and they're honestly having a population crisis right now. No, they really are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're paying guys to go over there and impregnate their sad women.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna start having a population problem here too.
Yeah, but
We're going to start. It's already a problem.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay with it. I think like this is the thing. We have such a high opinion of ourselves as a species, but we're really trash.
Yeah.
So like if we're gonna survive, there really needs to be less of us.
Yeah.
Like we're not evolving. We're getting stupider. Like we're like
Well, did you ever hear the old theory that there was a master intelligent race that built the pyramids and then they were too smart to fuck, so now all the dum-dums live?
the Anunnaki or Abenaki?
Yeah, something like that.
Like I
You just gotta
remember
look it
that, and it was like there was an uprising between because the hybrids, which is basically what we come from. They basically put their DNA in monkeys so that they could build the pyramids for them.
Abenaki. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like the movie Idiocracy. Like, how far away are we from
yeah.
that?
Like maybe they need to come back and start fucking us again so that we can stop being so stupid. Like it's just like come back, fix this. like you're not done yet. The gene pool is diluted too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to come back and fucking sprinkle it back in.
Yeah, it was like, what do we gotta do? Like raise our asses in there and spread our cheeks? Like, come back.
We're fucking ourselves,
Yeah,
please.
maybe that's what all the anal probing's about. They're just like we're not. We're trying to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to put the smarts
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah, we get an orgasm. You get enlightenment. What is your problem with this transaction?
You will be the smartest kid in your
Yeah.
class.
How do you think civilizations evolve? They get raped by higher civilizations. It's just the pecking order. When you get big enough, you can start raping dogs or whatever the fuck whatever you want to build your pyramids.
All of these aliens are just getting more and more Kevin Spacey-y.
Yeah, this is like that'd be funny. Then do what he did and go out in character talking about just talking crazy as shit about his accusations, just making himself seem guiltier and guiltier.
Right. Well, did you see what he said recently about the newest accusation? You're like, did you talk about all the times you flew out to see me in Malibu? And
No
didn't say
shit.
Oh God. You're like, Kevin, just stop,
Like-
man. You're already living in Spain, so everyone forgets about you.
Jeez.
Well, apparently he's broke now. Like all the lawsuits have, like,
Wiped him out.
yeah,
Well,
which is crazy.
yeah. Not really. Yeah, he did a lot of
Well, yeah, but it's crazy to think a dude that was making $20 million a movie
Yeah.
like is fucking broke now.
What was
Also,
the
it's
victim's
crazy
name?
to think
Looked
a guy
just
that
like
was
Brad
making
Pitt.
$20 million a movie couldn't just pay for an escort and like
Yeah.
and not fuck
Yeah.
Fucking Facebook.
like it's I don't know, it's crazy. It just and the crazy it takes so many movies out of play too. Like you
Yeah.
feel weird watching his movies now.
It's like Kaiser Sose. I don't think he hits the
Kaiser
same.
Soze
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Like he did it.
Yeah.
He was warning us from the start. Like his first big shit. He was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
Like
He thought
Like
he got
s-
past Baby Driver and he
Yeah.
started, or he stopped limping, and that's what it was. But yeah, that was his big address to this guy, Guy Pearce, is to
Oh, yeah.
grow up.
what did Guy Pearce do?
Guy Pearce was,
I know who he is, but what did he do?
so they had somewhat, I'm not going to call it a relationship because it seems like
Oh.
Spacey was victim. No, what's the right?
They were in a movie in the
Victim blaming?
90s.
No, not victim blaming. It seems as if Kevin Spacey did some things also to Guy Pearce when he was younger.
Well, they
Damn.
were in a movie together in 97, LA Confidential.
That
Maybe
was a
that's what it
very
was.
good
Yeah.
movie, but Guy Pearce was an adult.
So that was the thing was,
But I think it was like his first big role, though.
that's
Yeah,
why
that
he's
could be true.
that's why he's telling him to grow up. He's like, you were a 23-year-old man. You could think for yourself.
Yeah.
You're
But
like,
there is something to say that, hey, Kevin Spacey could help my career. I don't think he helped anybody's career, though, really.
No.
I mean, himself up until all of this shit came out.
Yeah, like,
I mean, he's a great actor. But
like, he was so good. That's why we didn't see it coming.
seven great movies.
Seven
Yeah.
is also, we should have saw that coming. You
Yeah.
way too good at that part.
Yeah.
Like,
John Doe.
yeah, like, and then when House of Cards came along, it was like his masterpiece, bro. We were like, oh, this is the culmination.
Well, and then the last season started being a culmination of everything that started coming out towards the end. So they just wrote it into real life.
But like American Beauty, like he played the everyman guy that like
Yeah,
everybody could relate to pretty much. Like
Yeah.
everybody living in middle class hell.
dude, he made me cry and pay it forward. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, now you thinking about him talking to what's his name as a little kid, and it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
like this is not safe.
Stop paying it forward. Stop that right now.
Yeah, when that movie come out, what's the statues?
Yes. Jesus.
I was scared of Kevin because
Oh, someone got their hands.
he's
Oh,
quite
no,
an
that's Guy
aggressive
Pearce.
man and quite a extremely charming and brilliant at what he does, and really impressive, etc. So he targeted me, no question. But it wasn't until everything came to light in 2017, and I heard about this. Obviously it's post Me Too. When I was in London working on something, and I heard this, and I broke down as.
He's admitting that like he just kind of lapped on with everyone.
I wonder how that, because remember, like, Guy Pearce's character was like kind of a smarmy, creepy guy.
Yeah.
So I don't remember L.A. Confidential. I think I've seen
I need
it,
to
but I don't remember
rewatch it. It's been a long time since I've seen
So
it.
he's a smarmy character.
Like his character's trying to move up the ladder
Yeah.
in the police force. Kevin Spacey's character is kind of like he's the checked out officer who's just like he advises the police and he advises the directors and films about
Yeah.
what police would do for detective shows back then.
Mhm.
So he's kind of like he's the guy that's like on the periphery that doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like he's like
Well, and then he dies like halfway through the movie too. Spoiler alert.
yeah,
but-
but it's like Guy Pearce's character is just like he manipulates the situation so he can fuck his friend's
Yeah,
girl. It's
but,
like
like,
it's a whole fucking thing.
His character was like the beta against like Russell Crowe's alpha. That
Yeah.
was like he played the beta in that movie.
Like, so it's kind of weird. Like, I wonder if he internalized some of that shit that was happening to him
Right.
and put it out there. Because his character comes off like creepy, coercive, manipulative.
He had the big ring glasses.
Yeah. He was always cleaning. You always wanted to punch him. Like, he just, yeah.
So let's see if we can get to what Kevin said. Yeah.
I've now read the comments that you made about me, and while I would have preferred not to have to play this out in the media, you obviously have your own reasons for wanting to do exactly that. But we worked together a long time ago. You know, if I did something then that upset you, you could have reached out to me. We could have had that conversation. But instead, you've decided to speak to the press.
But that's the thing, though, is he just tops it with being more smarmy. He hasn't said one thing about, like, I didn't do any of that. You're like, oh, so you're going to play this card?
Yeah.
All that happened, but I'm going to play my card now,
But,
too.
I mean-
also he's done. Like,
Yeah.
is the crazy, like, he still believes there's a path back to what he was.
Right.
It's like the press doesn't care what he has to say about it. You're just adding fuel to the fire. Everybody knows what you are, dude. Just letting, like, Guy Pearce or fucking any other actor that comes forward isn't going to change people's opinion of you.
Well, even at the
It's
same point, do you know who Jonathan Majors is?
Yeah.
He was the black dude that was supposed to play Kang the
Oh
Destroyer.
yeah. That's
And there was a lady that came out and said, I think it was sexual assault. I can't remember.
I think
though.
it was physical and emotional.
Abuse.
It was like he was like, from the one I remember. I know a girlfriend tried to get him. I think get him on what do you call it, like
Domestic violence.
yeah, something or other. But I guess there was enough in there that where it was kind of murky.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and that to be said, now that case has been, I don't know that it even was dropped. I think it was dismissed based off of evidence. He still cannot get an acting role.
Well, there was the thing too is that there was a couple people that worked with him on these bigger films. Some of the PAs, like, apparently he was kind of a dick.
Oh.
Like, apparently, like, you know, and I don't know, is it's just like some guys go method and they just get too far in
Right.
where they're just annoying the shit out of everyone, or he was just genuinely just a dick.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like,
I mean, not all these guys are good guys.
no.
Like,
But also, like, you don't know what the situation is, what
No.
day it was. Maybe the director, he was supposed to do something, the director fucked over his lines or cut this part, or like, it's hard
To an extent, being a dick, yes.
Yeah.
Smacking your wife in the face, no.
No, but again, it's like, I don't know that he did that. Like,
Right. Now, at this point, no one knows because, the case got dismissed and not revealed or...
So, yeah, so it was like, again, like, from what I heard, he didn't hit the PA,
Right.
which
Well, that was an accusation, is that he hit a PA too?
no, he didn't. That was, the accusation was never that he hit the PA, but he like might have thrown something
Oh.
in anger around the PA and was like emotionally abusive.
that's a little different.
They can fuck off. I had a math teacher that threw a marker at my face for sneezing in her class.
Dude, I had a teacher that body slammed a kid on a desk and just was beating the shit out of him.
Jesus Christ.
Shredded me. Like, yeah, that teacher was a piece of work too. That teacher was like, he was not a nice dude. He was a real piece of shit and a coward.
What?
Like, we had a bomb scare at our school, like a big one,
Yeah.
but our class didn't know about it. Like, everyone else, like the whole school got evacuated to the safe areas except for our class, because the minute he heard there was a bomb threat in the school, he got in his car and he went home. so we were sitting in our class, and I was like, man, it's been over an hour. Why isn't the bell ringing? All of a sudden, a dude with a bomb space dog. Why is by the door? He's like, what the hell are you doing in here? And I was like, what the?
Homeroom.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is health. What do we do?
The bomb squad walks by. Holy shit!
Yeah, like, it was like, this is because it was like, I remember everyone saying, it's like, it's really quiet in here. Like, it's quiet in the building. Like, I can't hear the other classes. Like, it's something. Is it a holiday? Was it a half day? Like, we didn't know. We were sitting there for like an hour and 15 minutes wondering what the fuck was going on.
God damn. Well, I wish we did not have to end it here, but Blake's got us at 90 minutes and then our cameras start to put out. But you don't have to leave. We can continue these conversations in the living room. But
Oh, hell yeah.
will you go ahead and plug up your social media and where anyone can find you and shows you got coming up, anything like that?
All right. If this post, I don't know if it does, I'm doing the lab on the 1st
Okay.
in Wichita Falls. But if you want to come see me in Austin, I'm headlining Rose City Comedy Club in Tyler on the 6th of March. And look me up on Instagram, Hinsdale 5000. At Hinsdale 5000. Yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We
Yeah,
love
this is a
Thank you
great
for having me.
episode, man.
It
This
was
was
great
so
to
much
see you
fun,
again.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we can get you on a spot at Big Laugh too.
Oh, yeah. Let me know.
The club's been fucking awesome. But before we keep going, follow me at pbailey_comedy and Dingbat District Pod on all social media, including TikTok. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We post a new episode every Tuesday and new clips every single day, so make sure you're there to catch them before they go into the ether. Other than that, thanks for watching. Bye.
Dude, that was fun.